All right, folks, going to start another day here. Same kind of format as yesterday. Oh, boy. Hold on. Start another day here. Same format as yesterday. Going to be the first 7.5 minutes is going to be me talking and hanging out and chatting. And then once I get into trading mode at about the 7.5 minute mark, I just will focus on trading and then come back as soon as the trading is done for the day. I was going to work on a video today, but I stayed up all night, well, until 4 a.m. battling Kalshi to try to get a profit for the day. It was quite an adventure. Uh, we had a we had a series where it went for like an hour and a half above the Bollinger Band, above the RSI, and it didn't reverse for like an hour and a half. It was just somebody was somebody had it in their head that they were going to drive up the price, and yeah, boy, they did not give up for 2 hours. Kept driving it up, driving it up, driving it up, and I did eventually survive it. It was kind of brutal, but I made it through and finished profitable for the day. But it was a battle. So my numbers will look a little skewed today when you see them, because that was mostly, well, that was from the battle last night that went on. So anyway, just getting started. This market that's currently going is about to close. So the next one will be our first market of the day, and ready to get into it. We had quite a successful afternoon session yesterday with like 25 people showing up for it. So we'll see if we can get anywhere near those kind of numbers today. Yeah, it's another beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. Sunny ish, cool as always, somewhere in the 70s, only a hint of a breeze. Beautiful. So, yeah, I'm definitely in the best place you can be, right? Along the coastline, the west coastline of America in the summer is pretty, I don't know, I love it. It's amazing. All right, so let's get into this first market of the day. Of course, we got to refresh. We always got to refresh because, yeah, Kalshi just can't get the strike in there fast enough. Um, but it doesn't really matter. There's something with the software or the programming that it's like the first time you click on the new market, the strike doesn't come up on the website. So you have to refresh no matter what to get the strike on this. Strike is also the target, the number to beat. So it's just a term for that. All right, so let's get into this and see where we're at. Let's start by looking at the chart and get oriented on where we are today. Let's see. So we had that long uptrend earlier today, and it kind of ended probably right around the time I went to bed. Uh, and since then, of course, because it was so overinflated, overbought, it's kind of steadily kind of fallen down. I would kind of expect it to continue to slowly but surely fall back down, but we'll see. Here's the thing about charts and all that stuff is like they're all fine and dandy, but all it takes is somebody with an urge to buy a bunch of Bitcoin or try to drive the price up to influence the market and kind of throw the charts out the window. But all that being said, charts are pretty mid right now. We got 48.11 on the RSI. The Bollinger Band's just basically a little bit lower than middle on the Bollinger Bands. Let's see. 392 and the price is 363. So yeah, we're about 30 away. Too early to get in. And okay, now I'm fairly oriented to what's going on. And as we get more and more people in the room, this will be the time when I review the chat and catch up on chat. Until we get some folks in here, this is mostly for people who would rewatch this in the future. I like to start out talking right away, so there's some orientation to what you're watching and all that. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's been the last 3 or 4 days has been a real battle. I'm going to try to take it easy today, and I'm going to go for small amount of contracts, easy wins, hopefully, and manage those, conservatively with the stop loss. So we're going to do all those things that we do every day with this strategy and see if we can kind of slowly but surely make our way up. But yeah, thanks for joining me. And but for now, I think I'm going to switch over to until some people start to show up. I'm going to switch over to just music mode, and then when we get some folks in here, I'll move back over to talking. But this is one of the hard parts of doing a live is when you just start and there's it's going to take a while for people to realize that you're live. So. All right, I will be here, and we'll be back soon.
Don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion, and everything is growing up. Watching at night, I wanna rise can find my way out. In this tiny and everything is gone uptight. There's no fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching out. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming.
You say you need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you ration yours. But you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. Just to close the door. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind. But your love got rules that change all the time. Change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on a spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Halfway in. You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low. I ain't your maybe. Tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you ration yours. But you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing doors. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind. But your love for rules that change all the time. Changing all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on a spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in?
All right, so I just didn't like how that one was progressing. I took a little bit of a profit, but moved on. And all right, we got a small profit to start the day, and that's going to be the pattern today. Small profits, small investment, uh, just to kind of help me kind of ground myself. I got to tell you, last night was a battle until 4 a.m. Let me see if I can find it on the chart. Where was it? It must have been. Was this? Anyway, yeah, I think it was right here where it just rode up the side of the Bollinger Band forever. And I was fading it. You know, we're above RSI 70 for this whole long 2 hour stretch, 2 hour plus. It was rough. And I'm fading the streak, getting some back. But it was, yeah. Anyway, finally got, uh, finally got to profitable and was like, all right, we need to we need to return to the strategy, which is, sure things. And so I'm kind of abandoning the whole, if I get a long streak and it's outside the Bollinger Bands, I'm gonna double, triple, Um, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, the chart is helpful, kind of, um, but there's nothing that can predict a buyer's intentions. Like you can't. There's no chart in the world that can tell you that like some dude is sitting in his apartment in New York City going, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy one Bitcoin every 10 seconds for the next 5 hours." Like this is, there's no preparation for that. So really, my strategy, if we simplify it down, yeah, the chart can give you like 1%, some kind of idea. Don't rely on it. Not necessary for the strategy. The order book, I'm going to have to take some time off from the map book thing, and just give myself time to like learn it and see if I, have AI talk me through it and like see if I can figure out how to use it. Um, for now, I'm back to tape surf using the Coinbase order book because it serves me pretty well. Coinbase order book right now says there's a lot of pressure to push it up, push the price up. It's thin on top, it's heavy on the bottom, wanting to push the price up. We've got a streak of 3 down in a row. So all these things are like, yeah, just keep them in the back of your mind. In the end, all it is the current price on CF benchmarks, how much time is left, and how far away from the strike we are, and the current price on Kalshi. Those are the 4 elements that are really vital in this whole thing. And the rest of the stuff is just kind of, I guess it can give you an inclination or make you a little bit more confident in what's going to be happening, but it doesn't predict the future. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen. It just gives you, that the probabilities are a little bit higher. But yeah, got to be grounded in the reality of current price, how fast it's moving. I guess that's the 5th piece is current price on CF benchmarks, primary. How much time is left, how far away from the strike, what the price is, and how the market is currently behaving. It can change in an instant, but we're kind of keeping in mind, are we slowly and steadily moving in one direction and then the other? Are we up and down close to the strike and it doesn't move very far away? Or are we getting big moves away, big moves down, all over the place? So I think you got to have a strategy for all 3 of those. I would call it 3 basic energies in the market. Mine really works with the slow and steady, kind of consistent movement in one direction, like an up pattern for 15, 20 minutes, and then a down pattern for 10, 15, 20 minutes. That would be ideal for me, for my strategy. Rarely do I get that, but that's kind of the energy I'm looking at. And right now, I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's, let's look at the 15-minute chart here. Yeah, I mean, down and then kind of climbing back up. So it has crossed the strike numerous times, at least this strike, in the last little bit. So I wouldn't call this ideal conditions, but it's not bad. It can be worked with. And again, the strategy today is to talk for the first 7.5 minutes, and then let the music take over and focus on trading. So until we get some more folks in here, I may just go into chill mode and let the music play and focus on the trading, and see if we can get some more folks in here. So I'll go back to music mode, and we will, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, until we get some more folks in here and we get the chat moving a little bit, I'll just come in occasionally and say hello until we get to that point. So hope you're having a great day. Good luck on the trading. And I'm going kind of conservative after a long, aggressive battle with Kalshi last night to claw back to profitability yesterday. So anyway, back to music, and yeah, I'll be back later.
Darkest night, gentle meaning, gentle fight. Anyway, baby, just name the time. When I'ma come through, can you get me cruising under moonlight? Top down, playing new sounds while the wind blows over it. Checking my maps, heading a stack, keep it intact. Do me a favor, girl. Can you keep it warm for me, keep it on for me like a shower? I needed to run for me, hold it down till I'm pulling up. I finally made it, girl. And I'm at the door, see you walking up to me, and you got something that's showing what's underneath. Still you expect me to make it do pleasantries, baby, I'm yours. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rubbing in the hallway, no use for all the rooms. What you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. She said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. We could catch a vibe here on this trip. I'm in your soul, you're on my head. I want you at my fingertips all night, all night. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rubbing in the hallway, no use for all the rooms. What you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no.
I appreciate it, Serge. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Um, yeah, I was in an epic battle with Kalshi last night, so I'm going to be kind of chilling and pretty conservative today. So, yeah, I'll be here until 4 p.m. Pacific on the afternoon session, and then tonight, probably around 8 p.m. Pacific. So, have a great day. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate you.
Why'd it take all our life to explain that it's more beautiful when you're here? I remember the light when it turned around and revealed all the truth, no escape. Oh, ain't blind.
Brian, I appreciate that. I'm glad. I was just going to work on a new updated strategy video. That one's a little dated. It is working for people. People come back and tell me that strategy works well for them. Um, my new strategy is a little bit different. Not much. I mean, I suppose in some ways different, but the same. Okay, totally new. No clue on any economics, statistics, stocks, odds, or even how they come to prices for up and down stocks. Just basic math and graph understanding. Here's what I will say about the whole thing here. And this is kind of like I keep prepping for the next video I'm going to do. It's basically the title will be a comprehensive guide, high probability scalping strategy for BTC 15 markets. I would say the chart, even though I got a chart on the screen from TradingView that's showing Bollinger Bands and RSI, a couple indicators, you know what? don't even worry about it. I find honestly it can be helpful. It can also mislead you. I spent 2.5 hours last night trying to anticipate what the chart was telling me. Kind of an obvious chart indicator, like it was like this has got to go the other way any second now. Well, 2.5 hours later, I was just finishing a battle of like, it eventually did, but it was like just horror. I mean, it was a tough battle to get back to profitability. So, anyway, the chart for my strategy, not necessary, really. I mean, sometimes can be more harm than good. The order book, that's this horizontal bar graph with the red on top and the green on bottom and the price. That's the Coinbase order book. That's all the orders coming in. People saying, I will buy at this price. I will sell at this price. And that's all fine and good. Basically, with that, all we're looking for is, this is just one exchange of many. There's multiple exchanges out there. But basically, the basic premise of this is if you see a bunch of orders stacking up on one side and the bar graphs get big on one side and they're thin on the other. So like right now, it's more thin up on top. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to move toward the thin line, but it's more likely. Basically, everything depends on somebody coming in and saying, I'm going to take that bid right there. I'm going to sell to that bid. Or I'm going to buy at that ask, right? That's kind of, everything is dependent on that, and there's no chart in the world that can anticipate what a human being is going to decide to do, or a bot, in real time. So somebody or a group of people or some entity or whatever last night decided we're buying up Bitcoin. And whatever their motivation was for doing that, whether it was to drive the price up or whatever, for 2.5 hours straight, the chart was defied. It just totally went against everything, and buy. So, order book, okay, fine, it's there. Can be somewhat helpful, not really. Chart, it's there. It can be. Here's what matters. This white box up here is the current price that Kalshi uses to determine their price. Okay, so that's CF benchmarks, and that's the real-time index. So that's the amalgamation of all the exchanges in real time computing the price over all the exchanges. The price on Kalshi, or the graph on Kalshi, lags behind. So it's not, the graph is behind the times. But the price on Kalshi reacts in real time to the price on CF benchmarks. All right. CF benchmarks. Yeah. So that's the most important thing to keep an eye on, is that white box on, it's just on the CF benchmarks website. On my live, it's a white box. That's most important. For my strategy, I'm trying to buy high probability toward the end of the market. I want time as my ally, and I want length. I want to have a nice cushion between the strike, or the target price, also known as the strike price. I want a distance between the price and where we are. Right now, there is no distance. It's right on the strike. For my strategy, I have no interest in being involved in this. This is not where I do my thing. I'm waiting until at least 7 minutes before I even get involved, before I even consider getting involved. Just so I have time as my ally. And that's about it. I want to see the current price on CF benchmarks, how much time is left, how far away from the strike we are, and then what's the price on Kalshi? Is it a good value based on what's happening? And I think so. That's 4 pieces. The 5th piece is, how is the market in general behaving? If we look at the last 15 minutes, we are, what would I call this? Straddling the line mode. We're moving sideways. We're not going up or down. We're kind of chopping. So, saddle chopping. We're just riding the line up and down. My strategy, it does not excel in this look right here, up and down and up and down. I rely on sure things at the end of the market. So as of right now, this is not, I'm less interested. It can all change, and I'm just in waiting mode. I'm waiting for it to be obvious that it's going to finish in one direction or another. So that's like getting in. That's the process of deciding to get in. And then I just did a video a few days ago about doing take profit and stop loss. That's how to close the deal on the system, on the strategy. Is you got to have a take profit. Don't wait till the end, and you got to have a stop loss for my strategy, because if I lose 100%, AI has referred to what I'm doing as called picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. It's like you're scalping small amounts from each market, but there's a steamroller rolling toward you, and like if it decides to hit the gas and go in the other direction, you're in trouble. So you got to have a stop loss, and I base mine on. Let me just talk you through what a stop loss would be right now. So let's say I get in right now. It's a little too early for that, but let's say I get in at 75 cents for down. Immediately, once I purchase those contracts, I'm going to set a take profit. It's going to be best to watch that video or just watch me a few times doing it today. But basically, I sell. So once I have it, I sell right away. It doesn't mean it's going to get picked up, but I'm putting it on the board. I'm saying, okay, I bought at 75. I'm offering to sell these contracts at 99.9, right? And that goes on the board. It does not mean anybody's going to have any interest in that until later. And then all of a sudden, 99.9 actually becomes, okay, that's the best option available. I'm going to take that, I'm going to pick up my 0.1 cent instead of nothing, So you set the take profit. The take profit's on the board. You don't have to do anything. You're done. I should backtrack a little bit, and I should also check in and see how you're doing, because I'm throwing a bunch of information at you. Why is my Kalshi showing 23% and 70% instead of cents? Nice analogy. Okay. So anyway, I guess I should ask you, Brian, do you know about limit orders? Because take profit, buying the way I'm talking about, and the buying part, you don't have to use limit orders if you don't know what you're doing. But to do a take profit and a stop loss, you have to know how to do limit orders. Basically, there's 3 options on Kalshi. You can either buy in dollars or in shares. So you can say, I want to buy $7 worth of yes or up, or, I want to buy $7 of this side. So that's buying in dollars. When you do that, Kalshi's going to place you at the best ask price at that moment. So you're going to get placed, but you are going to pay a fee to Kalshi for being placed. It's like 1 cent per contract kind of thing. Like it's, it's not a ton, but it does add up over time. But anyway, it does guarantee you that you're going to get placed at that moment. Limit orders are a bit different. You can decide what price you're going to buy at. So I can come in right now and say I'm going to buy at 86 cents for down. Okay? Now it won't get filled right away, but it's on the board. And as soon as it drops to 86 cents right there, it gets filled. And the good thing about that is that you don't pay any fees to Kalshi for that. That's no fee because you are providing the market. You're saying, I'm willing to bid this amount. And then somebody says, okay, fine, I'll take that. So that's the difference between being a maker, no fees, a taker, fees. Taker, you're taking what's available on the board. You're guaranteed to get placed. You're in. And I can be a taker right now. If I bid at 90, a limit order, I said, I want to buy 5 shares at 99 cents. If I just said 99 cents right now, it wouldn't give me the 99 cents. It would give me the best price available for the ask. And that's really important to understand. It's a lot to take in. And you'll see me do it. The video will go through it, and you'll see me do it a number of times. But just because you bid at 99 cents, the system doesn't give you the 99 cents. It gives you the lowest ask price at that moment, below 99 cents, right? It won't give you 99.1. The same is true when you go to sell. I can set the price at 1 cent. It does not mean it's going to sell at 1 cent. It means I'm willing to pay I'm willing to get anything above 1 cent, but it's give me the best price that's available at that moment. And the system will do that. So that's limit orders. That's so that's the comprehensive everything. And maybe it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but if you work at it for a little while, get used to these concepts, and the videos I've made so far will help a little bit with that. I think I'll get better at condensing and explaining all this in a more palatable way over time. But I hope that's helpful. Taker, placed, listening. Okay. I appreciate just the feedback. But yeah, it's a bit of a lot. Limit orders. Okay. I'll watch more videos. Yeah. So let me, let's see where we're at right now. 410, 385, 2 minutes to go. The order book is heavy, pushing price up. That's dangerous because we're close to the line. It's a decent price, 94 cents, given that it's only a minute and 50 seconds to go. But that's what I'm worried about right here. It's too close to the line, and the order book, it's kind of the opposite of what you might think it is. Like, when I first came into this, I thought, well, if there's more down here, the price is going to move this way because there's more to eat up this way. But think of it this way. When somebody comes in to either buy or sell into this market at any given moment, if they're going to buy 1 Bitcoin, let's just say 1 Bitcoin, you're gonna buy 1 or sell 1 of the two. Well, if it's really thin, to fill up all those to make it to 1, if it's really thin, you got to go a long way up or down to fill that in. See this right here, 0.3. And the bigger it gets, the harder it is to eat through all those orders. You need a big order to chew through all those orders. And for Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin is a lot. So it's going to be hard to break through this barrier that bidders are setting up. The price is going to want to go up. That being said, it does require somebody to come in and actually sell or buy. Just because there's orders on the board doesn't mean anybody's going to take anybody up on those orders. The other thing is that there are bots trading these things, so it changes all the time. Basically, my summary of all that stuff is I'm looking at this order book just to give me some sense if like it's dangerous at that moment, but that's all it's like telling me. It doesn't tell me, it doesn't read the future, it doesn't tell me it's going to definitely go in a direction. But the thinner it is on one side, the more it wants to move in that direction. And that changes instantaneously, as you can see these numbers insanely moving around in both directions. So, I don't know. All that being said, again, you're mostly focused on the price, how much time is left, and that's the main two things. What's the price? How much time is left? How much room do I have? And how, even though the market is saying it's 94 cents, the price, is it really 94% probability that will finish in that spot? That's kind of a good way to think about it. If you don't have an advantage on that number, it's more dicey, especially as you get toward the end. And for my strategy, if it's close at the end, I want nothing to do with it, because it can go from being worth 99 to 1 in an instant, and I can't trade that. That's too volatile in too short of a time. So that's why I'm trying to get as far away from the strike as possible with as little time left, and still, even if the price is 94 cents, I can do a bunch of contracts at 94 cents and still make a little bit of money. So that's a lot to take in. I'm going to be trying to make a video in the next week or so. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but it is daunting to try to explain. I mean, I don't know how long that just took, over 15 minutes to explain that. And I'm sure you still got a bunch of questions and like your head might be swimming. So if you simplify it down, you're looking at CF benchmark's price, you're looking at how much time is left, and how far away you are, and you decide. I would scale your investment based on how confident you are and the price you're getting in at. So, for example, if I'm getting in at 94 cents and I'm confident, I'm going to do more contracts to make it worthwhile to be a part of that, because the probability is most likely very high that I'm going to win that at 99.9 or 99.5 or whatever I decide to take profit. So I'm going to do more contracts. Now, also, I'm going to watch the price really closely, and if it gets anywhere near danger zone, I'm out. I'll take the small loss and I'm out. And that's called doing a stop loss. So stop loss and take profit, and how to do it on Kalshi. Definitely watch the video I did on that. That's going to help a lot. It's going to review all the stuff I just talked about and show you on the screen. And also, as soon as I stop talking and just get into doing, which I do at about the 7.5 minute mark. Oh, cool. Hey, that was pretty clear. You laid it out very digestible, just all new and foreign stuff. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, my son even said, wait 7 minutes. Yep, that's right. To go from there. He's 10. He's correct. Yep. I let him play with $5. Plays cents. Always comes out with $10. So your son is basically doing my strategy, Stop loss, take profit. Okay, cool. All right, Brian, I appreciate you, man. You provided, there's 12 people in the room right now. You provided the discourse to get people involved in this live, an opportunity for me to talk about the strategy and all the things that go into it. So I appreciate your questions. There's a lot of people in the room. who are benefiting from your questions and the what you put forth today. And it's a really good reminder that does not have to be complicated. A 10-year-old fully understands this process. Wait until at least half of the market is done. You're going to save yourself so many headaches by just not getting involved in the beginning. If you're doing my strategy, it makes sense to get in the beginning for other strategies, but not for mine, which is high probability scalping strategy. And, I'm up. I thought I was going to be down yesterday, but I battled back and got profitable at 4 a.m. So I don't know if you count that, but basically in the end, if I consider going to sleep as the end of the day, 8 days in a row, profitability, averaging about 10% per day of increase. And, the 10-year-old is onto it, knows what he's doing. Like, that's exactly what I'm doing. You take the small wins, they add up over time. If it gets risky, you get out. Yeah, basically as soon as you lose your edge, you're out. So we're kind of heading into trading mode. Let's see. What's the strategy? Oh, dear Lord. Brian, can you explain the strategy? The strategy is I'll release a video on it, but you'll see it in action. I apologize, but I just explained it for like 20 minutes in detail to Brian. So I'll try to come back and do it again. I'm about to go into trading mode, and I go silent when I'm in trading mode. So I appreciate the question. What is the strategy? I will definitely talk about that again when I come back. I got destroyed today, but don't really know a strategy. Okay. Yeah, that's Franklin Gutierrez. Got it. Nailed it. Just wait until the higher chance for a small profit. We're getting there. We're really close. I don't start until about 7 minutes. I go silent at 7.5. So I get in late. I scale up my number of contracts to, make the most of the profit. And I have a take profit in place, and I do a stop loss. So you'll kind of see how I do that. I do have videos on my channel that explain how to do this, and I will very soon have a complete guide to the strategy that I'm doing. So, but I'll come back in a little bit and explain it. Back in a few minutes. Time for trading mode.
Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Hey, never the same. Never you calling my name, I'm taking my sweet time. Hey, whatever the plan, I know I'm holding the best of me out of my hand. I know you always understand. Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
feeling no pain. Long stretches, I get to remembering. Then I see my bed is empty on one side. Back in the sheet, the only place I can hide. In the morning, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through the night. Sick and weary, and only your love's gonna make it right. I close the curtain, sweating, shaking all over. Imagine you're here. I'm looking up at the door. I'm a better man with your love than without. Stuck in the cell, I may never make it out. In the morning, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through the night. Sick and weary, only your love's gonna make it right. Yeah, only your love, only your love. Only your love, only your love. Just a little, take me along the way. Won't you visit? Won't you stop by to stay? I'm a better man with your love than without. In the cell, I may never make it out. And in the morning, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through the night. I'm sick and weary, only your love's gonna make it right. Yeah. Only your love, only your love. Only your love, only your love. Only your love, only your love. Only your love, only your
That was super dicey. That was not my strategy at its best. Getting in at 99 seemed like a for sure thing. I couldn't get in at a better price. Tried to get in at 89. Tried to get in at 94. Trying to be patient, be patient, be patient. And that's the danger. Like, it can move super fast. And anyway, that was a very dangerous trade for me, and I'm glad it worked out. Uh, but that was super dicey. I had 100 contracts on the line riding right next to the strike point. So that's, I told myself I was going to be real nice and conservative and, do do small contracts today. And then I get myself involved in so basically I should have just stayed out of the 99 cents bid for 50 contracts, because that got me in like a heap of mess at the end of that one. So sometimes just, sometimes that's where I get in trouble, when I don't follow my own strategy. So got your 7 cents. Well, a win is a win, bro. Cool, thanks. Thankful for taking your time for us. Heard a bit of the battle. Yeah, that's what I'm in for. Practical, patient, solid. Yeah. The older you get, I don't really I don't like what just happened there. That was not enjoyable for me. I made $4 or whatever, but that was like, yikes. No, thank you. Sometimes it'll happen. Even a 99% probability will lose 1% of the time. So that's why the stop loss is really important. I don't know if you saw what I did there, but once I put up the take profit at 99.9, I immediately went in and edited it to be 1 cent. I didn't press confirm, because that would have sold at the best price above 1 cent at that moment, which wouldn't have been bad. But I'm using that as I'm getting out, and there's no way it's going to go past me, because at the end it can change. The price can change super fast, and I do 1 cent because it's always going to give me the best price that's available on the board. It's not going to give me 1 cent unless the best available price is 1 cent. All you're really saying when you buy, let's say you buy at 99 and the price is only 75, the system is not going to give you the 99. It's going to give you the best price available at that moment that you clicked buy. So it's important to know that. It's also important to know the danger of that if you're using it at the very end of a market, because you could be buying at 99. You could be selling at 1 if the price in the last 30 seconds goes nuts in the wrong direction. So anyway, do as I say, not as I do on that last one. The entry was fine, but the amount of contracts, not fine. It has to be super solid, no doubt about it. If you're getting in 50 contracts is 25% of my bankroll. That's way too much to have on one market, basically. So I'm giving a talking to myself. Hey, trader dude, chill the fuck out. Come on, get it under control here. Really, ideally you're only involved 1% of your bankroll on any market. Because my strategy is so high probability, I do 5, which ends up 5 contracts, which ends up being about 2.5%. So I'm just reminding myself, it may be boring. I may only make 12 cents or 25 cents or whatever, but the strategy is somewhere between 2.5% and 5% of your bankroll at one time max, and take profit or do stop loss based on what's happening in the moment. So anyway, I gotta remind myself of that, because I do not want to get into the mess I just got myself into. It worked out, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I just had the battle of my life last night. I don't need to be doing this again. So anyway, it's a reminder to myself to get this under control, buddy. So you're gonna see me now I'm just going to stick to my word. Max 10 contracts, which would be 5% of my bankroll at one time, because I'm at 208 or 209 from my portfolio. So 5 contracts at a high probability is about 2.5% of my bankroll. And, being like super committed is like 10 contracts, 5% of my bankroll. But that's it. I gotta get back to that because I've been going on a wild roller coaster ride the last 24 hours. I think part of it is I feel some obligation to be entertaining. You know what I mean? That's the dangerous part of hosting a live. Is like I want to teach people, but I also want to be somewhat entertaining. I don't want to be boring people to death with the strategy. But I got to be honest, it's super boring strategy. And it's supposed to be. Like, that's the whole intention. So, anyway, I gave myself a good talking to. I'm hopefully hopefully back on the right track. So you're going to see either 5 or 10 contracts based on how confident I am. And I may get in a little bit earlier in the 80, 85 range. But we'll see. All right, trading mode. I'll see you. Hopefully I do a little bit better this time.
And nobody is watching at night. Water rising. Need a friend to shake me out again. Need a friend to shake me out again. I don't know if I can find my way out. In this tiny and everything is growing uptight. There's no fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching you now. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching you now. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming.
All right, since I have less contracts on the line and I've got a bunch of people in the room, hello, Cushmaster. I thought I'd come in and just talk you through the stop loss strategy on this one, just so you can see how I use that. So the number I've got, let me just see here. Let me double check. We're looking really good at the moment. 366 is the number, all right? So I've got to take profit on the board at 99.9. It's pretty close to getting filled because it's running away. Where's my number here? Oh, I see. Number is 309. I'm going to set, I got to hit this 1 cent stop loss. So I'm coming in to edit the resting order, which is at 99.9. I'm going to set it to 1. Again, that doesn't mean I'm going to sell for 1 cent. It means I'm telling the system if I press confirm, I want the best price available above 1 cent at that moment. So now for the stop loss, I'm going over to CF benchmarks, to the white box on the screen. I'm looking at the current number, which appears to be frozen, so I got to refresh. Refresh. Okay, 290. We're looking real good. We're at 99.1. 290 is far away. But I'm picking a price. If it reaches that price, I'm out. Let's say 350 was my starting number. So if it crossed 350, I got to get out. That's going to give me more than half of, it's going to give me at least the 60s of return instead of 0. But as the price goes away from the strike more, I will adjust my stop loss. So it kind of doesn't matter anymore because I already got my take profit. I've already got my, see, I did better. I did only 5 contracts, got 55 cents. That's what I'm talking about. Those add up a lot. But anyway, for the stop loss, I would have kept it at 350 until I was like, oh, it's dropping. Lower it to 340. Okay, it's still dropping. 330. It's like you move the stop loss number, which I consider to be the price on Bitcoin, not the price on Kalshi, but the price away from the strike. You move it farther away to protect your profits. As you have profits, you're now not wanting to risk those profits, so you raise the stop loss as you go. If you have any questions about that, let me know, but I hope that makes sense intuitively about how that all works. All right. Well, we got a lot more. I said I was going to do it. I did it. I was more conservative on that one. I didn't get into a major bidding war at the end, so okay. Yeah, this microphone I have, there's a slight, I don't know what it is, but if I don't ground the metal on the microphone, it'll crackle. So thank you for letting me know and reminding me of that. I always see a good chance to enter a market at a specific price, but I don't do it. Then I see the market goes the way I expected. I get scared to enter and I struggle with this. This is such a great thing to share with the community, and I appreciate it. I think what's good about that is you value your money. You're not wanting to get in a position where you're losing your money. And that's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where anybody who's drawn to this strategy, Vishna, that's where we're at. So, the stop loss is your magic power for reducing anxiety. So, if you come in, and let me just update things on the screen, but if you come in, you buy at 85 cents, let's say. and you go on the CF benchmarks and you say, okay, let's just try to do it with this example right now. Let's say we get in. We're going to have to be a little bit different with the prices, but the number to beat is 293, 66, 293. All right, let's say this price on CF benchmarks right now is 66, 220, 70 away, and there's only about 7 minutes left. This is, I mean, given the conditions, you're probably thinking to yourself, this seems like a good time to get in, right? This seems pretty good. So, good. Get in. Do your 85 cents, buy it. Immediately do a take profit, so you don't have to rush to like get out of the market if you need to. I mean, basically you're going to get your take profit if the price ever reaches that number. And you can be conservative with that. If you get in at 85, you can sell at 90. Get your 5 cents. Build up some confidence. Like, allow yourself to get a win. Like, even if it's, 5 cents a contract, and you only got 2 contracts on the line, it's fine. A win is a win is a win. Like, as your bankroll grows, those small things are relative to your bankroll. So, like, right now, a small investment for me would be 2 contracts, about 1% of my bankroll. But when I have 2,000 in my portfolio, from slowly but surely building up 10-cent wins over time, and reducing the losses when when my advantage goes away. Now when you're at 2,000, your small thing is 20. You know what I mean? So it's it's just a different world, and it scales as you're successful. But allow yourself to be content with a 10-cent win. Like, it's a win, and you're building confidence, and you're testing the strategy, and you're growing with it. So it's a great point you're making. I think it's a good instinct to be cautious about entering. I will say my system and learning how to use a stop loss will help reduce the anxiety of getting in, because even though you have, let's say, 20 contracts on the line, if the price changes in a direction that you don't like, you can sell. Take a small, this is a skill you've got to develop to do this. Take a small loss instead of risking a big loss. And don't second guess yourself if it ends up being like you would have won if you stayed in. That's not the game we're playing. The game we're playing is, as soon as we lose our edge, we got to be out. And that's a skill that's like, you want to develop that when you're doing 2 contracts instead of when you're doing 4,000 contracts. You know what I mean? This is a skill you want to get really good at, and figuring out, based on the market conditions, what that number is. So right now, it's a bad example because it's too close. The strike point is too close to the current price with 10 minutes to go. There is no high probability play at this moment. So there's no point in me getting in. And this is another skill that's really helpful to develop, is like, know when to not get in. Like, just sit it out. Like, it was 15 minutes. You learned something. You saw what the market was doing for 15 minutes. It was a learning opportunity. But you didn't have to get in because you didn't have the edge. There was no edge there for you. At this moment, there is absolutely no edge for me to get in. Like, we don't know where the market's going. It's back and forth. Right next to the strike point. No point getting in. So I wait. And I wait and I wait and I wait. And, a real good kind of barometer is 85 when it gets to 85, your odds are pretty decent, right? The probability is pretty high in your direction, but you always have to temper that with how far away is it from the strike and how volatile are these conditions. Is that really an 85% probability? Like, and that's the work to do, is to try to get really good at that. And that being said, even when you're really good at that, the market just does crazy stuff sometimes, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell? So that's why having a stop loss is so important. Let's talk about doing the stop loss here. So, like, let's imagine there's 2 minutes left instead of 8 minutes left. We're at 311, 293. We get in. I do my take profit at whatever I'm going to do, and then I change the price to 1 cent, and I come over here to CF benchmarks, and I pick a number where, okay, I feel comfortable that I'll get more than 50% of my investment back, and it allows for the market to kind of fluctuate a little bit. So right now, I would do 300, right? This is assuming there's only 2 minutes left. If the price drops below 300, I gotta sell. It's gotten too dangerous. I've lost the edge. There's no point. If this price keeps going up and up and up, I'll raise it as it goes. So the next stage will be 310, but we're not there quite yet. Like, we got to allow this to be able to move up and down a little bit without always triggering our stop loss. So we're looking good, slowly but surely. But anyway, and you would raise it if it moved up to 330, 340, you'd move it up to 310. You know what I mean? But see, now if we did 310, we'd have to be out right now. So anyway, it's something you got to figure out over time. But here comes the 300. Got to get out. As far as like investing in this market, probably not going to happen. But the thing is, the mantra is, it's trading time. I got to turn off the microphone and focus on trading. So I'll see you after this market's done.
Anyway, baby, just name the time. When I'ma come through, can you get me cruising under moonlight? Top down, playing new sounds while the wind blows over it. Checking my maps, heading a stack, keep it intact. Do me a favor, girl. Can you keep it warm for me, keep it on for me like a shower? I needed to run for me, hold it down till I'm pulling up. I finally made it, girl. And I'm at the door, see you walking up to me, and you got something that's showing what's underneath. Still you expect me to make it do pleasantries, baby, I'm yours. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rubbing in the hallway, no use for all the rooms. So what you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. She said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. We could catch a vibe here on this trip. I'm in your soul, you're on my head. I want you at my fingertips all night, all night. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rub it in the hallway, no use for all the roads. What you wanna do? She told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no.
So yeah, this is going to be a hard pass by me on this one, and I'm sure you can figure out why. Just way too close, and I usually don't get involved in the last 2 minutes if it's this close with like 2 minutes to go. I just don't. It gets real dicey at the end, and I don't want to be a part of it. So this is one I'll skip, and get back to these comments. Vishna, you're welcome. I'm glad to hear that. When in doubt, just do smaller contracts so you can build up confidence, and yeah, and that stop loss is your ally for sure. Carlos has a great question, so let's talk about that. What's the safe distance away from the strike point? That absolutely depends on current market conditions. Between Friday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at noon on the weekend, it tends to be very quiet. Everybody's doing their, weekend things. Very few people at their computers. It's very quiet. The market tends to move very slowly, and in a market like that, sometimes $20 can be a lot. So 20 away from the strike with a very slow-moving market can be enough. More often, 50 is kind of with moderate energy is a good price. Sometimes it's like there is no safe zone. Like it's moving like insane. And 150 isn't even safe. Like 200 isn't even safe. I have seen a market. I use this example all the time because puts it in perspective. I've seen a 15-minute market that went down $500, ended up finishing 650 above. So it all depends on the market conditions. If the market conditions are very volatile and it's moving all over the place like crazy, it's got to be a big number with a short amount of time left. Really, my strategy doesn't work well in those conditions. I'm usually sitting out when it's like that. I like moderate. I like when 100, my ideal is when 100 away from the strike feels like insurmountable. But again, it just depends on the conditions of the market. So you got to always be adjusting to what you're seeing in real time, because the market can change in a heartbeat. A good example is after the World Cup. So before the World Cup ended, before that match ended, the market was asleep. Like it was like nothing happening. Like going up $2, down $2, almost like it had fallen asleep. And then, you kind of knew it was coming because it always happens Sunday afternoon. But everybody's watching the World Cup final, and then as soon as it ends, the market just goes completely ballistic, like, just out of thin air. It's like boom, up 200 points, and it's like, so it can all change in an instant, but there are some lines of demarcation where it tends to happen. Sunday afternoon is one to watch for, because like another good transition that's a little bit better is Friday afternoon. Everybody gets done with work on the East Coast, so about 2 p.m. West Coast time, 5 p.m. East Coast time, it really starts to slow down, and it can take a little while for the market to adjust to that. So you go from like 150 to not being really safe to like, actually this 75 above is very safe at this moment. So anyway, it all depends on the current market conditions, and that's always changing. But the longer you do it and the more you do it, and I'm doing it 6 to 8 hours a day, you do start to see some patterns evolve. The real nice thing about, in general, trading on the weekends or in the evenings is you don't have to worry so much about a news event that's going to dramatically influence the price of investments, like a war or like, whatever, like all the things that can happen in the world. Like, so it tends to be a little bit more stable in the late night hours, the wee hours of the morning, on the weekends. I tend to do better in those times, as long as there's some movement away from the strike. If it's just tottering back and forth, that's not good. So we're in a position, let's take a look at the chart here, where it's kind of going sideways a little bit. Let me move this over so I can see it a little bit better. Yeah, kind of moving sideways, pretty mid. We're not toward the extremes of the Bollinger Bands. The RSI is pretty low, or pretty mid. 46, that's about mid. So chart doesn't give us any super great insight as to what's going on. If you notice, the volatility has slowed down a lot, and it's very quiet right now. So I would say we want to take that with a grain of salt, because it's still trading hours in a lot of the United States. One thing to be aware of is when we get these quiet spells in the middle of the day, that can be right before a big move in one direction or the other. So I am thinking 50 right now is a lot to be away from the strike, especially as the time ticks down. So we'll keep an eye on this one. If it keeps going up, we might be interested here. But, still too much time to go, 10 minutes. And we're only 15, 16, 17 away from the strike. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Let's see. Did you see the big drop today? I'm so happy I didn't bid. Well, I can tell you I would have seen it coming, because I got into a battle royale with Kalshi between midnight and 4 a.m. I wanted to go to bed at like 1, but the Bollinger Band, the price was outside the Bollinger Band on the top. RSI was 75 to 80, between 70 and 80 for like 2 hours, as somebody or some group or some is buying, driving up the price for 2-3 hours. All the signs are a reversal is coming imminently. Like, it's like it's gotta come. And I'm just like going again, down. And eventually I mean, it was epic having to like do some crazy stuff to try to get through it. I did eventually get profitable. I did eventually get out at like 4 in the morning, but I knew if I would have stayed in, I would have known. I would have had a real strong sense that like big down is coming, because that was uh, somebody put in a lot of work to drive the price up on that, and it was like inevitably coming down. So I kind of gave up at 4 a.m. when I was like, that's enough for me. Like, I got back to profitable, but it was a pretty rough little battle I engaged with. So yeah, if I would have been up this morning when it started dropping, I wouldn't have been surprised, because I watched the battle to keep pressing the price up go on for like 2-3 hours, where I was the person feeling the negative results of that. It's like every time it kept going up, I'm like, it's 80 on the RSI. Who is buying right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is your problem? But anyway, it eventually did come to an end, and somebody needed to take their medication, and the market adjusted accordingly back down. But anyway, I'm telling myself today that, hey, buddy, chill out. Like, we got to do smaller amounts. We got to get back to the strategy. And I think I'm gonna get away from. I mean, the Bollinger Band can be helpful, but you can also just get somebody with a bee in their bonnet that just needs to buy for like 4 hours, and you can't predict that. Like, it's like there's no way to know that guy is just stewing about just wanting to buy 10,000 Bitcoin that day. So anyway, I'm kind of getting to the point where the chart and all that reading stuff, reading the charts and all that is almost more of a distraction for my strategy than anything. And I'm getting back to just simplifying things down. It's all about the CF benchmarks number and how much time is left, and that's about it. All right, we're in trading mode. I've talked past the line, so I'll see you in a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be another hard pass for me on this one because it's just a little too volatile and too close to the strike, and it's just not the. It just got up to 90 cents, and there's no way it's a 90% probability at this moment that it's going to stay up. So anyway, it's a good time to just chill, sit back, and focus on the community and chatting with people. I logged into crypto today, and they have a 5-minute prediction, but it's horrible. It's made totally different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm kind of at with my strategy. One thing I wanted to talk about is, okay, so we're kind of, it seems like we're moving into a different energy in the market at the moment. And that is kind of a choppy up and down. So different strategies work better in different conditions. I would say the one I'm experimenting with when it's like this, when we're crossing the strike, getting close to the strike, not getting too far away, is to buy low early. And this is one I'm experimenting with for when the market changes to something like this, where my strategy is not, it's not a comfortable place for me to be with. That's with the sure thing strategy. But the odds are pretty high in my favor of like at least getting a 10-cent return on per contract on a low position early on. And when I say low, in the first minute or two, going down into the 40s or the 30s, somewhere in there. Once you get down to the 20s and the 10s, it's a little bit more dicey if it's going to make it back, But early on, 30s, 40s, with maybe less contracts, like half the contracts, that's something I'm going to start experimenting with when I'm totally convinced that we've got kind of choppy right along the line, back and forth. And I think that's what we have right now. So, for example, let's just track it, paper trading. Let's do some paper trading. So as of right now, up was at 31 cents. Let's say we bought at 34 cents. Okay. Well, first of all, we could already be out. 10 cent is already done. We could have gotten 5. We could have gotten 10, and we're done. Like within the first minute, we're done. Now we're up to 50. We're getting 15 cents profit. So when the conditions are like this, it's a legitimate strategy to, and if it happens early enough, you can try it again. I'm in general with that strategy. Once I get a win, I'm good. I'm like, okay, got it there, wonderful. But you can try it multiple times, especially if you're not to the 10-minute mark yet. So let's say we're not to the 10-minute mark. We got our take profit on the 34 cents. We sold at, let's say, 44 cents. We got 10-cent profit on all those contracts. We're back in. Let's say right now we go, you know what? 23, only down 40, 50. Well, yeah, let's try it. Let's say we're in at 28 right now. Okay? So we're in at 28. Did we get our 5 cents? Not yet. This is one where I would be more likely to do 5 cents. There's the 5 cents. See if we can get 10. There's 10. So anyway, obviously you can see that strategy is better in these conditions currently than the other strategy. And if you get your first win, you can just be, take a break, go have a drink a cup of coffee, and like watch the chaos unfold without being involved in it. So we may, if it stays like this, I may start doing, 2 contracts on the low side and just see what happens. But it seems like right now, with this kind of look, we're not getting very far away from the strike. And even when we are, it's pulling back to the strike pretty quickly. So in the last 15 minutes, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches of the line. And I do recommend trying to set your take profit around 50 cents. Because all you got to do is get close to the line for 50 cents to kick in. So anyway, that's a good thing to keep in mind, and we'll try that. If we stay like this for the rest of this market, we'll try that on the next one. I don't understand how they can just hit it every time. Oh, let me see. There's more to it. There's like an hourly on Kalshi. It's going to be this or this, but there are only 5 options only. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the 1 hour markets, right. I was watching some person on Polymarket. Every bet he did, he won, and it was between 2 and 7K each. I don't know. There's some people who are just maybe blessed with that kind of thing. Like, I am not that person. I'm not that guy. I find every time I go, you know what? I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna make some money here. I'm gonna get in and at 50 cents on this side, and yeah, I'm gonna wait till the end and double my money. And inevitably, that is a disaster. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that eventually, if I stick to this strategy and I'm disciplined and just keep following it through, that the numbers will grow, and eventually I will be winning most of the time at thousands of contracts with the same strategy or the same 2 or 3 strategies. I think that's where I'm going lately, is if I'm going to be trading 6 to 8 hours a day, and I'm going to have an engaging live, and and to maximize my profits, I need to have multiple strategies to deal with multiple kinds of behaviors on the market. And I think I got the 2 in place right now that make sense to me. And I've kind of shown both of those today. So, and the more I watch this market, the more I'm convinced, even let's say the 5-minute one. Yeah, in the last 5 minutes, it's come super close to the line. We just had that happen. 15 minutes, multiple times. It's just not moving much. It's moving sideways and chopping up and down. These are the buy low. I think these are the buy low conditions that are ideal. So we're going to make the switch mentally. And, yeah, see how that works. Now, of course, as soon as we make that mental decision, it's going to run 50 away. What's up, Rainbow? How you doing, man? When you bet, please let me know so I bet otherwise. I know. No, I'm seriously, dude. When I make a dumb bet that's not in my strategy, I will alert the community. Do the opposite of what I'm doing right now, because I'm serious. That shit is real. But I don't know. I don't know. Every time that happens, when it's all done, I come back and I say, okay, you're still learning. You're still learning, buddy. You got to make some more mistakes, because that's how you do things. You got to make mistakes to learn. Okay, when are you going to stop making those mistakes and just stick to the strategy? You know what I mean? And that's, I'm doing that today. I'm coming back to, okay, settle down, focus on the strategy. Now we're 50 away. Let me go into trading mode. I'll be back in about 7 minutes.
I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love, moving through me like a wildfire. Like a wildfire. Never the same. Whenever you calling my name, I'm taking my sweet time. Hey, whatever the plan, I know I'm holding the best of me out of my hand. I know you always understand. Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire.
Yeah, I got to come in and comment on this. Yeah, the last bet I did last night was totally not my strategy, way too aggressive. And of course, I lost that. Like, inevitably. It's like, oh, let me just finish the night with a bang. Like, yeah, right. So, just watching the market there for a little bit, anticipating making a trade. I'm just more and more convinced that a strategy shift is a good idea at this moment. Until we see a shift in the market away from this chopping along the target line, because it's moving so quickly and it's so close to the line that I'm just not. My other strategy is just like pretty useless in these conditions. So we're going to get ready for this next market. I'm going to reverse, even though it's on the screen that I talk in the first 7.5 minutes. I'm going to do the opposite here. Now doing this strategy. And when the market opens, I'm going to go silent because that's trading time. And I'll probably do more talking during this strategy because if all goes well, I should be in and out within the first 5 minutes, sometimes the first minute, if we get the choppiness continuing. But the good news about this strategy is the risk is much smaller. I'm going to do smaller smaller contracts, and there'll be just, I'll be investing 40 cents, 30 cents, something like that per contract. So the risk is lower. I'll probably be a lot more patient with a stop loss. I'll let it run for a long time. And all I'm trying to do is get 10 cents is going to be the goal. So we'll see how this goes in another 3 minutes and see if this change in strategy, I think it's a decent addition to my overall strategy. Don't be locked into just one way of doing things. If the market changes and your way is not working, what's the best alternative? And we're experimenting, but I think this is a decent candidate. And based on my experience, the best one I can think of for these kind of conditions. So here we go. I'm just going to do 1% of my bankroll. So let's figure that out. 40 cents. Well, that'll be 5 contracts. Yeah, something like that. So $2. I'm going to try and get in with $2, 5 contracts, and scalp 10 cents. If it runs like crazy, I can let it go, but I'm just going to try and just scalp 10 cents. I'll do a take profit. And yeah, probably just be one and done. Get in, get out, get the 10 cents, um, and just do my thing. Keep racking up 50 cents at a time to glory. That's that's the pennies in front of a steamroller strategy here. But now this one is less of a steamroller, because we're getting in at a smaller amount. So the risk is less. You don't have to win as much. It's a little bit more forgiving, especially under these conditions. So we'll see. As I say all that, this ran 60, 70 away. So maybe we're a little late to this party, but we'll see. I still think this is going to work. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be really patient with this. I won't set a stop loss right away. I'll let it do its thing, because if I lose, I'm losing $2. If I lose completely, I'm losing $2. And sometimes when it looks like you got no chance, you don't even do a take profit, and you end up winning, and that's a big win. That ends up being a big win. So there's a lot to be said for this particular strategy we're about to use, especially in these conditions. Sorry, I'm going to go into silent mode, and we'll see how this goes.
Can't wait to wake to your love in the morning. This simple thing that we do. Breathe in, breathe out.
All right, there we go. Completely opposite. Oh man! But so what I did was I removed the stop loss or the take profit because now the odds are not great, and I can't get a lot. I can get half of it back, but I'm only in $2. So now, given these conditions, I just allow myself to have a rebound win at 150%. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we stick with this strategy. Unfortunately, of course, as soon as we do it, then it moves 100 away from the strike. So, just do the opposite of what I'm doing. That should work out well for you. But that is the benefit of this strategy is even being all in and not doing a stop loss. The worst I'm going to lose here is $2, and the best I'm going to do here now, especially because I've got the take profit off, is make $3. So, yeah, there's a lot to be said. I don't know if it's best to do the take profit on these or just hold until the end. This is a strategy that I'm kind of newly working on and trying to learn about. But unfortunately, got in right at the wrong moment when the regime changed. So anyway, it's all learning experiences, and especially when you're getting in at such a low potential disaster. My complete disaster on this is $2. So we'll see. There's something to be said. Maybe there should be a stop loss on this strategy. Maybe it's at 10 cents. Maybe if it goes, you get in at 40. If it drops to maybe 25 is the number. Stop loss at 25 cents. Take profit at 10 cents. I just don't know if those numbers work out in the long run. So it's a new strategy based on specific conditions. Middle of the trading day, maybe that wasn't the right time to start this, but oh well, it was a learning experience. The good thing is I'm only in $2, and now if I want, I can do the other strategy, right? Because it really kind of does fit here. So let's buy the other side, which will also sell our current side. So let's just go 10 because that's our max for the day. We're not buying up, we're buying down. And 5 minutes to go, 2:15. Is it worth the risk of just getting back 50 cents to potentially lose $9.50 in this situation? Probably not. So even though this is possible, I don't, this is something you can do. I think it's just best to hold this position, take the probable loss, and move on. So have you thought about doing the hourly ones? Oh, wait, let me get back up here. Why buy yes when you saw it wasn't going to go up? Well, as I've been describing, we're trying a new strategy based on market conditions. Hey, is this on your browser? Are those browser extensions, those market grasps on the side? I use OBS as my streaming software. Those are each windows, a different window that I've kind of minimized. I've cropped. So yeah, everything you're seeing on a screen is a different window that's been cropped down, and I got to keep all of them on my screen so they keep updating. If I don't, like the benchmarks is not updating right now. So it does require me to kind of stay on top of what's on my screen for you guys. Let's see. So yeah, Moldovan is saying, hey, don't move away from your strategy. Basically, always waited until about 7 minutes. Yep, I get it. It's kind of edgy, bit of a ride. Yeah, I mean, I think it works if the conditions stay like that, but they didn't for us there. So I'm not really interested in the hourly ones. Just not enough opportunities. I like to, with my strategy, I'm getting 5-10 cents. I want to have a bunch of opportunities to do that, and I don't want to be going back and forth between multiple markets. I want to have my focus on one thing. It's already enough for me to try to run a live and answer questions and trade and all that at one time. Brian, I don't think BTC has good hours. It can slap you any time of the day. Oh, we can't wait until I'm more familiar with the trends of the market and time, hours of the day, etc. Yeah, I think there's something to be said. Moldovan's comment that it can get crazy at any time, unpredictable. But yeah, what I found is, in general, the evenings, late at night, when everybody's asleep, which I have an advantage because I'm on the West Coast, and so there's a period of time where Japan has not gotten out, Tokyo has not gotten out of work yet. Dubai has not woken up yet. It's a little quiet. It's pretty predictable. But yeah, like you can have something like last night where some dude comes in and starts buying like crazy at a crazy hour. You never do fully know, but weekends from Friday after late afternoon to Sunday morning tends to be pretty quiet. Yeah, I can see that. More referring to the natural cycle, like midnight to 5 a.m. Not as many people in the market, but this being global, and yeah, Bitcoin, you're probably totally right. Yeah, I think yes, and I mean it is correct. You have to always be aware this is based on rich people playing with their money at weird hours of the night, or middle of the day or whenever they feel like doing it. So you never know when something's going to happen. But yeah, in general, I found a little bit more stable and predictable in the wee hours of the morning and on the weekends. Yeah, I really dig these 15-minute. I really dig these 15-minute markets and being on top of it the whole time. Yeah, me too. Mountain time, a bit behind them as well. Yeah, so there's a bit of an advantage to being West Coast U.S. There's a big Pacific Ocean that kind of doesn't have any people or very many people living in it. And so there is a window of kind of quiet it's short-lived in the middle of the night. And like Moldovan said, sometimes you just throw that out the window anyway. So, sometimes I ran into it last night. Supposed to be wee hours in the morning, supposed to be quiet. The market is overbought. Like there's no way that it should keep going up, but it does for 2.5, 3 hours. So, but yeah, in general, quieter weekends and wee hours. So we're kind of in the middle of the trading day. It is, winding down a little bit. But the other thing to keep in mind is once the regular trading day ends, then people are like, where else can I do my money? What else can I do? Oh, well, crypto is always open. So the market is ever open, ever changing. What I'm keeping an eye on here, finding it interesting on Coinbase, we've got a big block, consistently a big block underneath the price that's trying to drive it up, but the energy is still pushing down. So we've got some pretty strong down energy going on in this market. and we got near the bottom Bollinger Band on the last one, and we're kind of moving back down now. So I don't know, just kind of keeping in mind. I'm keeping those things in mind that like there's some energy that's pushing the price up. We got 3.7 Bitcoin that keeps coming in underneath the price. 4.2 now, 4.3. Again, this is just one exchange, but that's a significant blockade underneath the price. So somebody working on pushing this price up, because 4.2 Bitcoin is quite a bit to eat through to push the price down right now, at least on that market. So everything a grain of salt. Again, all the charts and all the books and all that stuff is secondary to price and time. So, all right, let's see here. It's not a personal that buys all of them or sells all of them. It's a company like Robinhood, eBay. Yeah, I mean, yes, I absolutely agree. And when I say people are a person, it's an entity. Yeah, so I'll use the word entity because you're right. It's more than likely a trading bot that somebody is managing at one of those companies, or a really rich individual that's doing that. So you don't know if it's a company or a person. So we'll say entity. What do you think of the ETH 15-minute market? I was doing the Sol market for a while. ETH and Sol and all those, they react to Bitcoin. At least in this current environment, they're very much controlled by what Bitcoin is doing. At least in general, there could be some major breaking news that moves one of them different than the others. But in general, they move together. The big top ones, the top 10, they tend to be connected to Bitcoin. I don't know. It's just there's a couple problems with the smaller markets like Ethereum. There's less liquidity, so it's a little bit harder to get in and out. There's $2 on Ethereum is equal to $100 on Bitcoin. Essentially, I don't know if that's the exact ratio, but it's basically that. And so, like, there's less margin of error. If the price drops quick, it can really move really fast. But the main reason I don't do those is liquidity, and there being less distance away from the strike. That's all relative. So the distance away from the strike is not as big of a deal as the liquidity part. But there is so much liquidity in this BTC 15-minute market. Over $1 million every 15 minutes is in play. So getting filled and getting out is fairly easy on Bitcoin relative to the smaller markets. So ETH for me has been dangerously, because it's always like $1 or $2. Yeah. And that's all relative, but that's a small margin, and a quick movement can really wipe you out fast. So I think there's something to be said. If there gets to be more liquidity in those markets, it might be worthwhile. One thing I have thought about, I haven't looked into it at all. Of course, you make your odds a lot worse when you do a combo, but there's something to be said for, like, there's got to be a point where Bitcoin is up 100, and then everything else is up as well, and doing a combo with those, like the 5 that you can do. It's dangerous. It's not really the game I want to play, but like I think there's probably a strategy to do that, because everything is so tied to Bitcoin. Again, I don't know. Usually those combos or anything like that, is the odds start getting stacked way against you and it's not a good value. But I've wondered about that, and I've been curious about what that strategy might look like, buying the combos at a certain price. So anyway, that's just something intuitively I avoid because you know you have to get all five to win. And it pays better, but all you have to have is one of them go in the opposite direction, and you're done. So that's another strategy I could train a bot to do and just see like how does this work? Like run some scenarios, run a demo mode, and let's buy the combos at a certain price, and and hold or take profit and just experiment with it and see how it does. I haven't tried it yet, but that's a thought that has occurred to me. All right, I'm going to go into trading mode, try to focus here. We're up 50, so that's a decent spread. I'll be back in a little while.
Anyway, baby, just name the time. When I'ma come through, can you get me cruising under moonlight? Top down, playing new sounds while the wind blows over it. Checking my maps, heading a stack, keep it intact. Do me a favor, girl. Can you keep it warm for me, keep it on for me like a shower? I needed to run for me, hold it down till I'm pulling up. I finally made it, girl. And I'm at the door, see you walking up to me, and you got something that's showing what's underneath. Still you expect me to make it do pleasantries, baby, I'm yours. Love what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rubbing in the hallway, no use for all the rooms. So what you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. She said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no. We could catch a vibe here on this trip. I'm in your soul, you're on my what you got on, but I want it all for you. We can play a song while I'm holding on to you. Rub it in the hallway, no use for all the roads. What you wanna do? And she told me, she said it's all for you. I did it all for you. Baby, it's all for you. No, no, no.
All right, got in there, got out when I started to feel like, and yeah, small win, but a good win. This is going to be the last one of this afternoon. This next one coming up, I want to thank all of you who have been hanging out with me and all your questions and comments and your likes and emoji hitting and all that. I appreciate it all. And added about somewhere around 10 subscribers here during this live, so that's great. So anyway, I appreciate all the support and all of you who are, keeping me company as I work out my strategies and try to improve as a trader. I hope you enjoy this community. That's my vision for it, is to have have a place where people can go and feel some connection while they're trading this market in particular. So, yeah, I want to thank all of you who are hanging out with me. This is going to be the last one coming up of the afternoon session. I do about from somewhere between 1 and 4 Pacific time for my afternoon trading session. And then I usually take about 3 or 4 hours off, go run errands. I got to go to Home Depot today and take care of stuff around the homestead and feed the cats and all that good stuff. And then I usually come back, usually 8 or 9, somewhere in there, p.m. Pacific time. And I go for another 3 hours, 4, somewhere between 8 and midnight on the Pacific time. So if you want to come back this evening or any day, I generally try to do this 6 to 8 hours a day, as long as I'm feeling up to doing it. So it was a bit of a challenge to get this live going today. I was thinking about maybe I'll skip it since I was in the epic battle with Kalshi with the Bitcoin market until 4 a.m. So, but I'm glad I came on, met some new people, and yeah, I don't know. I made maybe a little bit of money here in this session, but most of all, was able to connect with some new folks and have some good conversations and just talk about strategy, talk about, like, what's working, what's not. We tried something new today. I think it has potential to work, but it didn't work the one time we tried it. So we'll go back to the old reliable strategy that we always come back to. And if it doesn't work, just sitting out, just letting the market pass. So I'll talk on this one. This is the last one until about 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And then we will go into silent mode for trading. Carlos, thanks for the emoji fingers, thumbs up. And thanks for all of you that have coming back multiple times. We got a bunch of people in here that familiar names are starting to show up for me. And Brian is one of my new connections we made today, so I really appreciate that. He's happy to be here. I'll see you next time for sure. Wiser and wealthier. That would be maybe that's the motto for our community here. wiser and wealthier. It's a good mantra. Slowly but surely, wiser and wealthier. But yeah, good to meet you, Brian. I'm really happy that you found this, and you lost $400. Oh no, dude. What happened? It's so easy to do on these markets, boy. You get an inkling about, oh, I'm gonna cash in big here. I'm gonna go big. I got it. And then it's like the market says, oh yeah, you sure? Not to be laughing at your loss. I apologize, but I know it hurts to lose money like that. It sucks. If you're new to the channel, though, I hope we can show you a little bit more reliable way to make money and not lose big chunks of money. It's still possible to lose chunks of money with this system, but it's more manageable for the bankroll the way we're doing it. So sorry to hear that, ITC. So this is the last one of the day. We got about 5 minutes before we get involved with this market. But if anybody has any questions, here's your last opportunity, or comments or anything like that. Your last opportunity for this afternoon trading session to make those comments and or make those questions known. Let's see what he says here. I already described maybe next week. Hopefully you help me win some. Yeah, brother, I'm here 6 to 8 hours a day and just trading this boring ass strategy that makes money. So, yeah, I shouldn't say it's boring. I mean, it's just methodical, you know. There is times though that I'll sit out for hours at a time if I'm truly doing the strategy. There's times where it's just not a good time for me to trade, you know. These conditions right here where we've got $50 away from the strike those are decent conditions for me. And the market is not moving super fast. It's pretty mellow. So I would say right now these are pretty ideal conditions for my strategy at the moment. But it doesn't always work. And those who are with me for this live saw a number of markets where I just sat out and was like, nah. And a number where I probably should have sat out and was still like, maybe, you know. So, but all in all, this strategy, when I actually stick to it, you know, produces moderate. I would say it's pretty easy for me to make 5% on my bankroll every day if I stick to the strategy. If I have a good day, 10% is very doable. But I size everything based on the size of my current bankroll. I reset this account to $100 10 days ago. So I've already doubled in a little over a week this portfolio. So it's slow, methodical, but it is scalable. And as the portfolio grows, the numbers can start to rise. It's not a number, it's a percentage, you know. You're trying to do, I would say my moderate goal is to hit 5% improvement on bankroll, and a solid day of just like some really good wins stacking on top of each other is like 10. Above that is like spectacular rock and roll status, you know. So, but it's all a percentage, so it can be scaled. And as you get successful more and more, you can increase the number of contracts that you're investing. So I have no more than $10. Do you think you can help me earn something later? Yeah, man, just do, I mean, if you have $10 in your account, you just got to be doing everything in relation to the bankroll. So work on developing a strategy with me tonight using very small amounts of contracts. Don't be going in 10 contracts. You got $10. That, you know, if you only got $10, you're going to be going in with me with one contract for the whole session and learning a strategy and learning how to do a stop loss and a take profit. So don't expect to be making big money back if you're working with me. You know what I mean? This is not what I'm doing. If that's boring, I get it if that's boring and you don't want to do that. I mean, as a younger person, I would have found that extremely boring, and why would I do that? But this is investing more than gambling. So there's investment strategies at play. We're just dealing with a market, unlike the stock market where it's pretty rare for something to go to zero value. We're dealing with a market that is time-based and goes either to 0 or 100 at the end. So it's investing with a very brutal end. So we try to manage that and do it with an investment mindset. So I'll be happy to show you. I got a bunch of videos on or not a bunch, but I made a few videos that if you watch them between now and when I go live later, that will probably help to at least get you on the same page with me later on. But yeah, the big thing is you gotta, if you had 400, really your max bet should be around $20 for any market. You know what I mean? Like if you had 400, that's 5% of your bankroll. That's like max what you should be doing. You know what I mean? If you're investing. If you're gambling, you want big wins and you want excitement and all that, well, it goes both ways. You can have excitement, but you can also have crushing defeats. So, all right, I'm going to focus on this market, and I'll be back to wrap it up right after it's done. I didn't like the way that was shaping up, so I got a 4-cent profit, but I was out on that one. It was a little too close at the end, and just bouncing around a bit too much. There's a lot of buying pressure to push the price up. So yeah, that was good for me. I'm out. We'll finish off with a very small win instead of a loss for the afternoon. Again, thank you so much for all of you who have been hanging out with me, the new people, the stands, the old standbys, and I appreciate you. We'll be back. I'll be back at probably around 8 p.m. Depends on how my trip into town to Home Depot, how quickly that goes, but I'll be back around 8 p.m. Pacific, and we'll do it again for the evening session. Keep in mind, I am not a trading expert. I do not provide financial advice. Do your own research. This is hopefully for educational purposes, and I hope you learned something new today, and it was helpful for you. Thank you for everybody who's been hanging out with me. Yeah, man. We'll see you later today. Cheers.